My name is Venerable Sha'ul, and I'm the senior Buddhist priest out at the Blue Lotus Dharma Center located in Webster Groves. This is a Missouri branch of the Center for American Buddhist Practice. And this is, I don't know how much of Buddhism you know about the two major schools, but I'm a priest within the Mahayana tradition, which is the, they call the large vehicle. Been ordained for about 9 years. And prior to that, I was a monastic within the Chinese Buddhist community, where I got all my training. So I understand you all are studying Buddhism from world religions point of view, is that right? So you all have the basic ideas like Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, things like that. So you should know the history of Buddha. It's about 2,500 years ago, although the scholars seem to argue that all the time. Sometimes they say it was longer, sometimes less. Doesn't really matter to me. But Buddhism has two primary schools in it, the Theravada and Mahayana. How many of you know about that? Have you heard those terms? No? Okay. So Theravada is usually the Southeast Asian communities, countries like Laos, Thailand, places like that. And it's a focus that is more on the Buddha's very early teachings. So most of the things that you've been studying, I would assume, are what we call first turning. His teachings are divided up into 3 different periods. And the first turning deals a lot with moral discipline. And so the Buddha structured that to be established primarily within the monastic community. So it's very monastic-based, meaning that you give up everything to go live into a community like that, whether it's full-time for your entire life or just partly. But the whole idea behind the Theravadan system is that you develop this moral discipline through leaving everything in the secular world behind. The Mahayana is a little bit different. It's much larger. That's what Tibetan Buddhism is, Chinese Buddhism, Zen, Chan, all of those things that are very popular in the West. That's all under the umbrella of Mahayana. And that's a larger scope in that the monasticism is not the main point of view. So after he's developed a great monastic order, so you have these monks and nuns everywhere, and you have monasteries, and they're practicing these very austere conditions, developing this discipline. The householders, people that have families, businesses, they work, they're like the rest of us out here. I'm certainly one of these. I'm not a monk, I'm a priest. It's very different. I'm actually married and have a wife. And so in the Mahayana, the focus goes from this moral discipline to a larger kind of scope or view. And the majority of the emphasis gets put on compassion and loving kindness. And we develop that first within ourselves, towards ourselves, which Buddha thought that most humans lack that, which is why we have a tremendous amount of sufferings, because we don't know how to be compassionate and loving towards ourselves.